The mysterious monster Krampus is as captivating as he is terrifying. He's become emblematic of the darker sides of the winter holidays and is experiencing his highest reign of popularity ever. His origins, however, are just as enigmatic as the creature itself. Misbehaving children of alpine regions were told to correct their naughty behavior, for the Krampus would surely come and punish them if they didn't. The menacing Krampus is a demon-like monster who delights in various painful punishments towards naughty children. Although Krampus has ranged in appearance, there are almost always some consistencies to his look. Typically, he is a tall, hunched bipedal creature with horns, shaggy dark hair, a long pointed red tongue, and fierce fangs. Upon his hunched back, he carries a writhing sack full of bad children awaiting torment. Many times he holds a ruten, a binding of birch branches in his other hand to swat his misbehaving victims. He is also known for having goat-like cloven hooves. Occasionally, he is seen with a hoof on the end of one leg and a humanoid foot on the other. Sometimes he has more than 2 horns, especially in depictions from Austria, where he has 4 or even 6. It is thought parents would use the monster Krampus as a sort of parenting aid, and a not so thinly veiled threat if their children acted poorly or didn't obey their mother and father. Means of the punishment varied depending on the storyteller, and possibly the severity of the children's behavior. Some variations have Krampus leaving either a coal or a birch branch as a warning. The leaving of coal may come from other alpine winter folktales, like the Italian La Beffiana, and is thought to symbolize a gift with little or no thought. The birch branches left were threats of potential future beatings with the ruten if bad children did not rectify their behavior. The ruten or birch branches may find their origins in some pagan rituals and often symbolize purification. In this case, purification of children is brought about by threats of violence. Other tellings involve Krampus using corporal punishment. This wasn't limited to just beatings from birch branches, but could also be swipes from various whips and pokes from sharp pitchforks. The pitchforks may tie into more Christian representations of the devil or demons, and was most likely given to Krampus to reflect this. It is possible, however, the idea of Krampus with a pitchfork may predate those Christian demon representations, and are simply unrelated to each other if indeed Krampus is that old. However, the final and worst punishment involved Krampus abducting misbehaving children and was said to put them in a sack upon his back. In the mildest of these tellings, Krampus would simply take the children away, only to be returned to their parents, likely forever changed. In more malicious tellings, Krampus would engulf the children in his dark sack, to either mercilessly hit them, eat them for dinner, or throw them in a body of water, allowing them to drown. Some harrowing tales also had Krampus taking the children to hell, to eternally make them suffer for their transgressions. Krampus is commonly seen with chains attached to his wrists, waists, and ankles. On these chains are loud ringing cowbells, giving Krampus an ominous rattling and clanging sound when he approaches. Some have hypothesized these chains represent the Christian binding of the creature, using them for their purposes, similar to God binding the devil to hell. This ties into the Christian connection to Krampus. While many will debate the pre-Christian origins of Krampus, for many that celebrate Christmas, he is seen connected to the real-life figure and folk representation of St. Nicholas. The two work as a dual nature of the holidays, St. Nicholas being the gift giver and Krampus being the dealer of punishment. Many illustrations show the two together visiting children and partaking in their mutual duties. Even Krampusnacht, the night bad children may be visited by Krampus, falls on December 5th, the day before St. Nicholas Day. This gives good children who weren't swatted or burning in hell on the 5th some nice treats like fruits and nuts to look forward to. St. Nicholas gives these gifts on December 6th, the date commemorating his death. Krampus is thought to come from Alpine folklore, more specifically in eastern regions of the mountain range. Bavaria, southern Germany, and alpine areas of Austria are thought to be some of the most likely areas of the creature's birth. However, there are various celebrations and stories of Krampus in most alpine countries. The name Krampus may come from the Middle High German word Krampen, meaning curved claw, or a Bavarian word meaning dead, withered, and lifeless. But these etymological ideas of Krampus are just some possibilities and adds even more mystery to his origin. Although there is debate to how old Krampus is, many think he most likely predates Christian influence, but how far back he dates is unknown. Since there is no written record of Krampus before the 16th century, many others consider Krampus's pre-Christian origins suspect. During the Inquisition, it was forbidden to dress as a devil or any demon-like creature. If Krampus predated the Inquisition, it is hypothesized by some to have pushed Krampus celebrations to more remote regions, where there was less scrutiny by the church. The popularity of Krampus grew with the rise of Krampuskarten, or Krampus cards, popular during the 19th century. These were sent to people maybe not familiar with the Alpine legend, and introduced Krampus to a greater audience. Many of these cards depicted Krampus punishing children, and had phrases such as Gruß von Krampus, translated to Greetings from Krampus, written on them. Later, many of these cards also turned comical and sensual in nature, showing Krampus encountering a beautiful woman and becoming enraptured by her. Several of these cards show the woman treating Krampus similar to a submissive dog, where the monster appears under her control. Later still, card variations also had a woman in place of Krampus, swatting at misbehaving men and storing them in her sack, giving a silly and playful twist on the Krampus tale. Krampus was outlawed in Austria during the fascist rule under Engelbert Dollfuss. After the annexation of Austria by Hitler, Krampus continued to be banned. Ironically, Krampus was said to be outlawed by the Nazis because it promoted paganism. Nazis were known for their wide use of pre-Christian pagan imagery and neo-paganism, so this seemingly contradictory stance may seem strange, but it's certainly not the only contradiction the Nazi Party made. More likely, Krampus was outlawed because of its connection with St. Nicholas and more specifically the Catholic Church. The Nazi Party attempted to remove some Christian elements from Christmas under Hitler's rule. A holiday focusing on the birth of a Jewish Messiah didn't always sit well with Nazi ideology, so many Christian celebrations during Hitler's reign focused on Woden, the German name for the more commonly known Norse god Odin, and branded him on Christmas cards as the Christmas Solstice Man. Even after the war ended, pamphlets titled Krampus is an Evil Man were distributed to dissuade Austria from fully embracing Krampus once again. In the leaflet, Dr. Ernst Koldbauer argued, "There is too much fear in the world already. Unemployment, high taxes, not to mention the atom bomb. Let's begin by throwing out Krampus." The pamphlet said Krampus was too frightening for children and had no place in modern-day Christmas. Even with anti-Krampus sentiment, it was once again legal to celebrate Krampus, and annual events became more popular. Austria, Germany, and many other places around the world hold parade celebrations for Krampus known as Krampuslauf, or a Krampus run. The Krampuslauf is typically on December 5th, Krampusnacht, but can also be held throughout the month. Commonly during a Krampuslauf, several boisterous men will don Krampus costumes made out of thick animal fur and terrifying wooden masks. Some variations are actual runs, with the Krampus pursuing and hitting runners, but the more popular Krampuslauf is something similar to a parade. Many times at the head of the parade is an individual portraying St. Nicholas, and behind him are all the men dressed as Krampus. Interactions with parade onlookers usually include playful intimidation and sometimes mild violence. Krampus impersonators will target parade onlookers and swat at them with branches. Normally this is all in good fun, although there are some cases of people being hospitalized from broken bones and other injuries. It is tradition in many areas to give the Krampus schnapps as a sort of offering. In some Krampuslauf, men portraying Krampus are supposed to begin the run sober. However, even in these situations, a bit of pre-game drinking isn't unheard of. Purchtenlaufen, another parade event with demonic creatures known as Purchten, is thought by many to predate the Krampuslauf and possibly inspired the Krampus run. There are a lot of similarities between the monstrous Purchten and Krampus, leading many to think Krampus tales actually evolved from the demon-like Purchten. Others adamantly dismiss these allegations and feel the two are completely unrelated. Even so, modern-day Purchtenlaufen sometimes have Purchten and Krampus together in the same run, making their distinctions even more muddled, intertwined, and confusing to the general public. Along with different traditions in each Alpine region, we may never know the true origins of Krampus. Adding to this are several fictional depictions of Krampus, originally intended for entertainment, that have been erroneously integrated as fact. Even well-regarded journalists have mistakenly included tidbits about Krampus that have come from modern-day creatives, placing it as fact alongside centuries-old traditions. Although many individuals have attempted to prevent Krampus from participating in the holiday season, the end of the 20th century and the beginning of the 21st have only seen an increase in Krampus's popularity. Due to the internet and social media, Krampus is well known now more than ever. He has appeared in several movies, TV shows, books, apparel, games, and even memes. Perhaps it's the mysterious nature of Krampus that captivates us. or the contrasting elements of a bright, joyful Christmas beside a vengeful, demonic-like creature dragging children to hell. Either way, it's undeniable how ingrained Krampus is to the winter season, and will continue to be for some time to come.